Welcome to Dancing with Time, hosted by Beth Amin and me, Patty Teal. This podcast is all about self-care, inspiring and supporting each other to live our essential nature, which is timeless. I'm not young, I'm not old, I just am. Join us for conversation, movement, and meditation. Let's get started.
Welcome. I'm Beth Amin. This is Patty Teal, and you have tuned in to episode 5 of Time Out with the Twins. And as you can see by looking at us, and if you're just hearing us, you'll know that we look exactly the same and we sound exactly the same, which is just our little joke. We really are very, very in tune with each other, but when you see us and hear us, you'll get how delightfully different we are in this most similar ways. So
yes,
welcome.
She's about 3 feet smaller than me.
Exactly, at least. Yeah, we always joke that Patty took up all the room.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. But our topic today is on gratitude and appreciation and the incredible power of them. As you may know, if you've tuned in before, that the focus of all of these podcasts with Time Out with the Twins is self-love and self-care, and the many deep ways we do that beyond our pedicures and so on. And the practice of appreciation and being grateful goes very, very deep as they carry you into the presence of the now moment, which is where everything is and where joy is and where your uninterrupted flow of love is. And so we'll discuss a bit about that and how getting into those states consciously will really improve the quality of your life and the self-care and self-love that you give. Patty, anything? You said you ran into some things to be grateful and appreciative for this week.
Oh, yes. Well, you brought up the topic, and then it was just like the same day. I had this amazing thing happen. I do a little gig at a farmer's market where I actually sell these ponchos. Another lady sews them. I'm out in Florida. Beth is in Santa Barbara, which I really, really miss.
Where you're
but
from.
Anyway, I've been dealing with some health issues and maybe not feeling as appreciative as I should be. But I saw across the way somebody had a booth and they were selling these holistic products and they helped with all the things that I'm dealing with. So I went over there and bought this tea from this lady, but she was so dear. I mean, you could see it in her eyes. She had this depth of love in her soul. And, she just went on and, put her arms on my shoulders. I don't know if she was, psychic. I have a feeling that she was, and we all have intuition. But she came over to where I was, a few minutes later, and she said, "Can I do a prayer over you?" And she did this beautiful prayer, and I just could feel this love exuding from her. And it was like a little miraculous few minutes that made me so appreciate her and people like her and just the world. It just felt so good. And it just, as we're speaking, it reminds me, sometimes you don't know how you can lift somebody up. Anyway, I was very appreciative for her and her warmth and what she gave to me.
That's so beautiful. And it's said that appreciation is the vibration of love. It's when you are appreciating, it's as close as you can get to source energy. And that I might just add at this point that, being grateful and appreciative are so powerful. And there's a slight distinction, as I've just been learning, which I didn't really know, between gratitude and appreciation. And in gratitude, you may carry a little bit of a condition with you. In other words, you may be, I'm so grateful that passed, or I'm so grateful that that's over. I'm so grateful that I got through that. And you're actually acknowledging the whatever it is that you are in gratitude for. So there can be a slight degree of separation, but it's still an amazingly wonderful, wonderful practice. Appreciation has a slightly different vibration in that when you are appreciating, you are completely in the vibration of love, which is universal, and you're not referencing anything. It's almost as if you are the thing that you're appreciating. So there's no separation at all. And it's extremely powerful, and it creates and puts you in, I mean, it's just as a practice, just to wake up and be appreciative. I can see how it puts you in the vibration of the reality of what the present moment is, which is goodness and joy and so forth, and less out of conditions. So I just wanted to throw that in. And Patty, that was such a lovely story, and you appreciated her back, and I saw the love in you when you did that.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, it was just a beautiful moment. And she was obviously a beautiful soul. And I was so very, very appreciative. And I think I noticed it more because you'd mentioned that that would be the topic of our show. And I have to say,
yeah,
sometimes we can focus on our problems. I'm certainly not immune from that. And just to have it a practice is a really good idea, because even in the midst of bad things going on, difficult things, I should say,
yeah.
still there's some things to be appreciative about. Like you, I
Aw.
appreciate you, Beth, and your beautiful spirit too. You have such a loving attitude, and always send these loving messages. I just love you.
I love you back, and I appreciate you incredibly. Well, we should have a little appreciation fest. I
Yeah.
appreciate that you're endlessly kind and are always kind, and just so lovely. I can, be a little feisty and
Well,
stuff,
I
but
may not be as endlessly kind if you lived in the house and heard me sometimes. So I am no
but
angel,
nonetheless,
unfortunately. Yes.
I appreciate that you're human then.
Yeah. Oh, good. And I appreciate that you're feisty. That is a little differentiation between us, even though we're twins. You are a little
Even though we're
feistier.
twins, yeah. That's because I probably have Napoleon complex,
Oh,
being 5 feet tall. I'm always
yeah.
looking up like, hey, wait a minute.
Could be. Could be.
But what about any practices for appreciation, Patty? Do you think just like throughout the day, or do you want to, sit in the morning and do a rampage, as they
Well,
call it?
that's interesting. I thought of that too, because we often refer to Esther and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
her teachings, Abraham Hicks
Uh-huh.
teachings, and she often says, "Have a rampage of appreciation," and I'm a big journaler,
Uh-huh.
so you can always be appreciative in a journal. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, we've talked so much about manifesting, and sometimes you have to um, be thankful for things that perhaps haven't quite shown up yet, but you know that they will. So be thankful for them. That's one of the ways that they will appear.
That's true. And I think appreciating what you have is also said to be one of the most powerful of practices, because then you're not in the future and you're not in the past. If you're just appreciative of what you have now, it's a
Mhm.
very powerful stance to create from. And they say maybe it's the only stance to create
Right.
from.
You're not longing. I want, I want,
Hmm.
I want. Well, if you want, you don't have it. So then you're
And you're
not
pushing
in
it
that.
away. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's excellent.
So I think sometimes when we're not feeling especially appreciative, you can think about the things that you can be appreciative for and change it around. So even things like I have a refrigerator that keeps my food cold, and my air conditioner is working really well. I'm so appreciative for that. And looking outside and appreciative for the birds that are singing out in the yard. And some people absolutely seem to do it also naturally. I might need to remind myself, be appreciative, Patty. You've got a lot to be appreciate.
Oh, there's always that. I think you can catch yourself at any point if you're starting to spiral downward. If you can catch yourself and go into, okay, let me just shift out of this into what do I have to appreciate? Well, my body's breathing. I don't have to breathe myself.
Right.
It's
I'm
like my
hungry.
heart's just
Mhm.
beating itself. I don't have to take care of that, or like you said, the simple things. Wow, I have a cup for my tea, and I've got running water. Wow.
Right.
It can really do it. And then and along with that practice, I've noticed that getting myself out of judgment sometimes with people. I can be judgmental and I don't really like it because it just shines on me and it doesn't make me feel good. And part of that self-love and that self-care is about caring enough about yourself to keep on picking the good feelings, which it's so hard. Our mind always, can take us so many places and choose. But when I stop my criticism internally and start appreciating people, it's the quickest way for them to really shine and improve the interaction and all my circumstances. And it's like positive aspects in a way, focusing on positive aspects. And I notice I do that. I'm, doing some dating right now. And I think a fear mechanism to start making some judgments and create some separation. And I think to really find out who a person is, whether they're, right for your life in any way or not, but just to allow them to be the best of themselves through holding a vibration of appreciation when you're interacting, that it just creates wonders and people reflect it back like you did with the lady in the market. So that's one practice that I'm doing, is holding people in appreciation for the entirety of who they are rather than, getting in there, because it takes me out of that present beauty of the now moment. So that's something I do. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think reframing things is very, very powerful. And it's going to sound like I'm being judgmental to my husband, and perhaps I am, but sometimes he can be a bit on the negative side.
Yeah.
We put a lot of money into a business and he felt like it didn't pan out. And it's true, monetarily it didn't. But you know what? That business after 10 years is still alive and there's still hope for it. It's about to hit the stock market. And so I always say, well, just focus on the fact that many people, lose money in a business and it's done and over and closed, and you still have a chance with it. And that's just one example. And they'll say, oh gosh, this cardiac arrest that happened, granted, it was horrible for him. And I don't know if I could be grateful either, but I said, but just look, 10 years later, more than 10 years later, you're still alive. So it's kind of like life too that you got. So you can always try to reframe things to the positive side.
Yes,
Easier for me to do with his things than my own.
Well, that's so poignant, and it's really absolutely true. You have a choice, and if you have a choice, it creates nothing to choose a negative possibility. It just keeps you stuck in time. It keeps you stuck in time. And our whole thing is to live in the eternal now, which is fluid and flowing and full of possibility. So, man, you just got to be watching your mind and make those creative choices. We are creative beings ultimately. And so we want to just keep creating positively.
So if you catch your mind, being negative, try to reframe it, because a lot of things have a silver lining.
Yeah, absolutely. You could go so far as to say, there's divine order or good order and learning in many things. And so that's definitely a practice that we all work on. Well, not all, but we work on every day. I know I certainly do. But the benefits are amazing, because life is extraordinary. I mean, it's incredible just to be alive.
Another thing that a wise person told me, if something amazing happens that you've been praying for, just you have a wonderful blessing come your way, be sure you take the time to say thank you. Whoever you feel like you're thanking, just don't let it pass you by without taking that opportunity. She feels like that's a very important spiritual practice, and I agree.
I agree too. I mean, I'm thankful when I get a parking place anymore. I go like, oh my God, I'm so fortunate. There's parking on the street. I live in Southern California, so, and nonetheless, it perks me up. It just kind of feels good. And that back to our focus of self-love and self-care. What makes you feel good? Remember, we had those questions that we always ask. What makes me feel good in this moment? What choice can I make? So, and we'll post our little things coming up soon of our regular practice questions. And we'll probably have a way we could email them to you too as we move along in our podcast series. So Well, Patty, is there anything else we want to say today? And I'm hoping that, you're enjoying the movement and meditation. That's just part of, first we share, then we move, and then we meditate. And that's
Yeah,
our
I'm
whole
ready to
half-hour
move
thing.
right now.
Are you ready to
Beth.
move?
I'm ready to move. Yeah.
All right. Well, let me just get my chair out of the way and get the music on, and let's get in our body groove. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, Patty, shall I take it over with a little bit of
That would be wonderful. I'm going to be ready
a
to
little bit of
stretch right along
movement?
with you.
Well, hi everyone. I'm happy to be doing a little joyous movement with you. That's what this is called, joyous movement. It's really gentle body movement. And the whole idea is joy and connecting to life through our beautiful vehicles that take us on the journey. So here we go. All right, I'd like you to shift your weight from one foot to the other. That's really all dancing is. A little shift of weight. Let your arms flow free. And if you want to extend your hip a little bit, past your foot, when your weight shifts, you can do that. This may kind of a figure 8 motion with our hands. And lift our heels as we swing from side to side. You can even take a little walk, forward and back. Now, I'm also adding a slight bend in my knees to give it even a little bit more of a dancey look. So it's bend and straight, bend and straight. Just very gentle. And if that's too much for you, well, you can just do it very soft and just shift your weight. If you are in a chair, then use your upper body, and you can have your feet moving as well. If you only move your upper body, this is good. Elbows in kind of a rotating motion side to side. Okay, let's open that up a little bit. Arms a little wider. And just shifting the weight. Let's pay attention to our posture as well. With our tummies in tight, our chest lifted, our shoulders back and down, really open to moving through life. Are you ready for some breathing? Okay, let's have our feet be about shoulder width apart. And look up, take that air in and extend it out. Breathing in, big as you can, and breathe out. Breathing in, and out, and in, and out. Okay, make a circle with one arm. I'm still shifting my weight, one foot to the other. Gentle rotation backwards. And let's do that with the other arm. Nice! Get that upper body done. Okay, let's do both. And let's go back around the other direction. And widen our stance and be as big as we can as we breathe in and we breathe out. Again, big as you can, breathing in and breathing out. Let's go over to the side, bending the knee on the side very gently, that you're moving over very gently. Bending the knee, getting a nice stretch in the upper leg. We're going to actually, in this very short little segment, hit every little part of our body. Okay, oh, that feels good. Now, with our feet, stretch our feet a little bit by touching our toe and stretching the top of the foot. And you can keep up your nice little dance movement. Remember, I'm slightly bending my knees and extending, straightening as I point my toe and flex my foot. You can add a little bit more. If that's too fast, take it slow. I'm doing a little bit of a walk. And rotating my arms. Little bit of a tilt in the pelvic area there as I rotate my arms to one side and then the other. Okay, a little bit more of a leg stretch now by doing a lift. You can do this in your chair. And if you're only mobile from the waist up, you can actually use your hands to lift your feet a little bit. If that's too high, just even getting your foot slightly off the floor will increase your balance. And we're just gonna do some nice little knee lifts and a few kicks. And I always like to do a few little kicks to the side. Great for the balance, great for strengthening and stretching, great for the hip joints. And if you need to hold on to do that, just hold on to a wall or a chair. Good. Now let's just take a couple deep breaths. And I think we feel alive. So breathe in and breathe out and breathe in and breathe out. And let's go down just a little bit further. Pull your tummy in. And round it up, round it up, round it up, round it up, shake it out. And there we have it. So glad you joined me for some joyous movement today. And now get ready for your meditation.
Today, we'll be doing an appreciation meditation. Before we start, I'd like you to get in a comfortable position, either lying down on your back or sitting up with a straight spine. Whether lying down or sitting up, place your palms upward. Get comfortable and gently close your eyes. Mentally scan your body and your face. If you have any areas of tightness, tension, or soreness, breathe into that area and purposely allow it to relax. Appreciate your breath, the breath of life. It works with your heart and lungs, bringing you oxygen-rich blood. Relax in the present moment. With each breath, you are feeling more peaceful and centered. Feel your body as it becomes more and more relaxed, more and more at ease, right here and right now. There is so much to be thankful for. Your ability to see, hear, smell, feel, and taste. Your ability to sense things and to love. Let gratitude fill your heart and mind, uplifting your spirit. Be here and now as you breathe in and out, in and out. Feel grateful for life itself, for the warmth of the sun, the nourishment of the rain, the plants, flowers, and wildlife. Grateful for all the little things in life that make you happy. The people you love, the pets you love. Feel your heart grow warm when you think of them. Now, broaden your focus to include every living person and creature, every object. You are part of our vast, abundant universe. Move into a more fluid state of being. Stay here as long as you'd like. When you're ready to re-enter the outside world, gently wiggle your fingers and toes and softly open your eyes. You are calm, soothed, and appreciative. Keep these peaceful, calm feelings with you for the rest of the day.